Good morning to all of you. Uh, in today's class, I'll be finishing the topic of inheritance, and then I'll discuss the topic of plotting with Matplotlib. So, if all the students are in, only 39 students have joined. So maybe we can just lock the class now. I think interested students are in. Okay. Yes, Angad, kindly unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, Angad, how are you?
I am good, sir.
Angad, can you tell me something about inheritance? Why it is required? What are its benefits? So that we can just, reconnect with our last class.
यस सर इनहेरिटेंस में क्या होता है कि अगर एक क्लास में कुछ प्रॉपर्टीज डिफाइंड है तो हम जो फर्दर चाइल्ड क्लास बनाते हैं तो उसमें वो प्रॉपर्टीज आ जाती हैं कि हम जो सुपर क्लास है उसकी प्रॉपर्टीज को यूज कर सकें, रीयूज कर सकें, और जो फर्दर चाइल्ड क्लास बन रही है उसमें हम उसको ओवरराइड कर सकें और कुछ नई प्रॉपर्टीज में डिफाइन हो सके, कुछ नए
Okay.
मेथड्स.
What are the types of inheritance, Angad?
There are multiple inheritance, single inheritance, multi-level, hybrid inheritance.
Okay. Multi-level, multiple, single, hybrid. Hybrid is like what, a combination of different types?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Abhishek, you can unmute yourself.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, good morning. Abhishek, what do you understand about the object class? We discussed in our previous class something about the object class. What is the object class? There is a class
सर
named as
पाइथन
object.
में
Yeah.
एक सर पाइथन में एक प्री डिफाइंड क्लास है जो कि ऑब्जेक्ट नेम से है, और सर उसकी हेल्प से हम क्लासेस वो कर सकते हैं, ड्राइव करते हैं सर.
Derive karte. Okay. Anisha, you can unmute yourself. Same question to you,
Morning,
Anisha,
sir.
about the object class.
Sir, that object class is the master of all the classes, and just as we did the built-in classes, all those classes are also derived from the object class.
So every class in Python is derived from the object class. That's what you want to say, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, fine. So, see, you've already done this inheritance in C++, so I'm not going to spend much time with it, only that the syntax needs to be revised. So I'll take a simple example to begin with. Just start this Python ideally. So we'll take an example in which we'll create a new class which inherits the feature of an already existing class. Okay, so we'll create a new class which will inherit the features of an existing class. And you know the terminology that the existing class which is to be inherited is known as the super or the, there's a other word for it, raise your hands, super class or base class, I suppose. Yeah, Inder has raised hand. Okay, super or base class and sub or derived class. Do we have any other names also that you might have come across while studying inheritance in C++? If you have, you can raise hands to share that. Okay, so we have a super or a base class, which is an already existing class, and a new class. If it inherits something from an existing class, it is termed as a sub or a derived class. Okay, Tamanna wants to share something. Yes, Tamanna.
Sir, super or base class is also called as parent class.
Okay, we have another word as parent class. Perfectly fine, Tamanna. And we have a
Child class.
child class. Good. All right. So I'm going to create a class. Say this is just a short example so that we can see the syntax here. Okay. So this is our class A, which is also our base class. Okay. And I can define some members here, say I, J, and say, okay, I and J only, let's let it be. Then I can define a method, okay, show ij. So what should I write as the first argument? Let me ask Anchal Sharma. Anchal, unmute yourself. 119 roll number. Anchal Sharma, unmute yourself. Anchal is not available. Okay, Anchal
Hello,
is there.
sir.
Yes, Anchal, what to write here
Hello.
in this method? What to write? See on screen.
Sir, self लगेगा.
Okay, yeah, self should be the minimum that you should write here. In a method in a class, the first argument should always be self. And Anchal, what is this self? What does it mean? Anchal, are you listening?
Hello.
Yeah, what does it mean? What is the meaning of this self?
Sir, it points to current object.
All right, so what can we do with that?
Hello.
Yeah, what can we do with that?
Sir,
Are you
am I
able to hear
audible?
me? Yeah, you are audible. Go ahead.
Sir, it points to current object.
Yeah, I'm asking what is the meaning of that statement?
सर सेल्फ में हम जब हम सेल्फ लगाते तो वो अपने असेस कर पाता है वेरिएबल्स को.
Okay, or should we write self only or we can use any name?
सर हम और भी यूज कर सकते हैं कुछ भी.
कुछ भी
Any
कर
name.
सकते हैं, but like what is the normal, this thing, tradition? What should we use? Self should be used, or we should use anything that we like? What is the benefit in using self? While I'm writing, I need some discussion so that you people are not idle. If somebody else can answer this question, you can raise your hands. Why we should write self? Raise your hands to answer this question. Okay. Yes, please answer.
Sir, because other can understand it easily.
Who is this other?
Sir, any other user or programmer,
Okay.
which
So we should use the generalized tradition. Yeah, that's true. That if somebody else is reading your code, he or she should be able to understand that you are using this as a mandatory first argument of a method in a class. That's fine. Good answer. Okay, so I'm now taking the class B, which inherits from class A. See, this is the syntax for inheritance. Okay, you write the new class name and in parentheses the super class name. If there are more than one classes, you can separate them by commas. Okay. So we have this method in which we will print the value of k. Okay. Then let me take another method here. Say def sum self, and what we can do here is we can just print the sum of all these three arguments here. So I can write self dot I plus self dot j plus self dot k. Okay. So see now, this is the class, the super class or the base class. The name as A. It has got two members, I and J, and a member function or a method show ij, in which it will print the I and j values. You can just separate them so that you see a good output here. Okay, and then this b inherits from a. So you can see that these variables I and j, which have been declared here in base class, can be used in any method of the derived class. They can inherit it from there. Okay, and k obviously belongs to this derived class only. So let me now create both the objects. Say ob1 is an object of the class A and ob2 is an object of the class B. Then I can initialize ob1 dot I is equal to say 100, ob2 dot ob1 dot j is equal to 300. Okay, and then I can call this show method, say ob1 dot show ij. Okay, and then I can, okay, let's run this much first. Basically, right now I am just handling the base class, assigning values to I and j and displaying them. So let's see the output of this. So what we can do here is give it some name, say I11. So you can see the values which have been given to the members, and then this show ij method is called and it will display these two values. Now let us do it through this ob2 object now. So let's do it like ob2 dot I is equal to 300, ob2 dot j is equal to 400, and ob2 dot k is equal to say 800. Then let's call ob2 dot show ij. Let's call that method of the base class through the object of the derived class. I'm sure all of you are aware of what I am doing. Just a simple example, and then we can call ob2 dot sum, I think. Yeah, okay. So anyone who can predict the output now of the entire program when I run it, somebody can just tell me whether it will work or not. So what we are doing here is, okay, Inderjeet has raised hands. What about the rest? So many other students are there. So let's just remove the lock. Let's see if people are willing to join, if they are waiting to join. In a class of around 90, we have just got 37 participants. That's not good, and I would request all of you to attend the classes. And one thing, don't consider yourself that that you have passed in this subject, whether it's a lab internal, external, or the theory internal. I can assure you there is no guarantee of passing without attending classes, without giving sessionals. And your sessional performance is not very good because most of you have copied, or most of you have helped in copying. So that is not going to be good. Those who have helped or those who have taken the help will get not more than 50% marks. So if you have shared your code or your uh, sessional with others, you're going to be penalized for that. That is for sure. So don't do it in the second sessional. You people have copied a lot, so you won't get more than 50% marks. That's my promise to you. Remember this thing, okay? So let's see who can tell what is the output. Yeah, raise your hands. Inder, you raised your hand. You can raise it again if you wish to answer. Yeah, Prateet Jyot wants to answer. Yes, Prateet.
सर एट्रीब्यूट एरर आएगा.
ओके, कहाँ पे?
जैसे बी के पास बी जो ऑब्जेक्ट है उसके एट्रीब्यूट सम एट्रीब्यूट नहीं है शायद.
What is the sum attribute? I don't understand. Sum is a method, right?
यस सर. इनसे मतलब वो प्रिंट कर देगा जैसे 100, 300, 300, 400 एंड 800. बट सर आई थिंक एरर शो करेगा.
यहाँ पे
मुझे डाउट है.
यहाँ
Yes
पे
sir. Yes sir. OB2 dot sum.
but what is the basis of your doubt? OB2 is an object of B class and we have a sum method in B class, so what's the problem there? Okay, let's see. Fine. Prateek, you can unmute yourself again.
Yes
Prateek,
sir.
yeah, Prateek, see, let's see the code. Here, OB, see, if we need, the idea is that a derived class can use the variables and methods of the base class.
This class.
So see, we have done everything with the object of the derived class. OB2 object is a object of the B base class, sorry, derived class B. So when you say OB2.I, then this variable I is initialized to 300, this to 400, K you have given 800, so the total becomes 1500. That's good enough,
1500.
right? So that's why I took this simple example so that the idea is clear how to go about inheritance. All right, Prateek, clear now?
Yes sir.
Okay, let's now take another example. Okay, a similar example, I would say, to understand the use of super. Okay, so let's use this file only. Let's use this file only. So we're going to now discuss this super method. Okay, how did you invoke the base class constructor in C++? Can somebody tell me about it? How do we invoke the base class constructor from the derived class object in C++? All of you have done it, so that's why I'm asking. Okay, so super, this function is used, super method is used to invoke the base class constructor. Constructor means the init method here in Python. All right. So let's take an example here. Let's take a new class, say demo, and let's take some variables, say ing are fine, and let's take the constructor here. Constructor is underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Okay, and let's give the arguments I and j, and let's write here self dot I equal to I, and kindly note this example very carefully. This will be very important for you all, like those of you who want to write, because most of you rely on copying in the sessionals rather than learning. So for them, I cannot suggest anything. Okay. Then we have a, say, a disp method here. In this one program, I'll discuss two things with you. One is the super method and one is method overriding. Okay. So then we have the disp function in which we'll print I and j, right? And then we have a class new demo inheriting from demo, okay, in which there is, say, this k is there, and here also we can have a constructor. Init method is there, and in this init method, what we can do is we can say write self dot I equal to I, self dot j equal to j, self dot k equal to k. And obviously for this we need three arguments here, I, comma j, comma k. Okay. Fine. See, I'll first take an example which would, prompt us to use super, right? I'm taking an example which would prompt us to use super. I'm initializing the values for ij in our base class also, and ij in our derived class also. Okay, and then I can obviously use the method disp here, okay, where I can print I, j, and k, right? I can print all the things. So can somebody suggest me now how to create objects? I'm going to highlight the use of super method for you. I've taken a demo class, which is a base class. I've taken a new demo, which is a derived class. Okay, so I can write here derived class. Okay, so how should I create the objects without using super? How I can run the code? Can somebody suggest me? So I can take an X object here of the demo class. Okay. So once I do this, will this work here? Yeah, I need to ask somebody. So let's see who's all are there. Okay. Okay. Anshdeep, unmute yourself. Anshdeep, are you there? 128 roll number. All right. Anshdeep तो नहीं present है. Okay. Shahat Kumari, you can unmute yourself. Shahat is not there. Digambar Thakur, you can unmute yourself.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Will this work? Whatever I've written on screen, x is equal to demo. Will it work? Just look at the class illustration and tell me, please.
Sir, demo
Will it work?
multiple sub demo. Yeah.
Okay, let's ask Gitika. Yes, Gitika, unmute yourself. Gitika, unmute yourself.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Deepika, is this, sorry, Gitika, is it going to run x is equal to demo?
Sir, we have to give the arguments.
Okay, so since this is going to invoke the init method here, so we need to give at least two arguments, right? Okay, so let's give the arguments as 10 and 20. Okay, and then we can call the display method, right? So I can call x dot disp, and then I can create an object of the other class, say y is equal to new demo, and I can write something like 10 comma 20 comma 30, and then I can write y dot disp. Let's change them here, say 40, 50, 60. What is the output? Raise your hands to share the output with me if you have understood. And then I'll ask you another question after that, so that you can understand what is the use of super. Yes, please raise your hands to give me the output of this code. Yeah, Nimisha, you can answer.
10 space 20,
Okay.
then 150.
Then 150. Obviously, we have got the total here. Okay, fine. Let's see if you have answered correctly. See, disp takes 0 positional arguments. But where is the error? Somebody can tell me where is the Nimisha? Can you tell me where is the error?
This is taking 3 arguments, I, j, and k.
Where? Where it is taking 3 arguments? Disp is not taking. Okay, let's see. Let's ask Manpreet. Yes, Manpreet.
Sir, I think actually in base class in display method we haven't tried self, so that's why it is.
Okay, very good. यहाँ self नहीं है. Okay.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Now what is the output? Whatever Nimisha is saying or different output?
Sir, yes, sir. The output will be firstly 1020, and then there's some that is 120.
150. Right. That's right. But you see one thing here, all of you. You can lower your hands. Thank you. You see here one thing. Our base class and derived class are having the same methods, right? This, the same signature is there. Okay. Fine. Same signature is there. But when you execute the disp method, now if this class new demo is inheriting from demo, it should inherit this disp also. So there should be a confusion in like which disp should run. But we see that this disp is running. What does it mean? That when a base and a derived class have a method with the similar signature, a similar method, then the method in the derived class overrides the method in the base class. Okay, so this would run. We'll see how to take care of that also. That like if you want to run this method instead of this method, then what we should do. Now, what is the problem in this code that we have written? Yeah, kindly raise your hands now. What is the problem in this code? Is it okay or is it having a lot of repetition? Yeah, somebody to answer this question. Only then we can understand why we should use super. No one is willing to try. Okay, Angad wants to try. Yes, Angad, go ahead.
सर यहाँ पर हम बेस जो डिराइव्ड क्लास है उसमें सर हम दोबारा से वो कंस्ट्रक्टर कॉल कर रहे हैं जे और के को दोबारा कॉल कर रहे हैं तो वहाँ पर हम जो सुपर क्लास का जो कंस्ट्रक्टर है
Okay, so you want to say Angad that we have already got this initializing mechanism here. Why we are writing it here? Isn't that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what we can do here is see the change here. So one thing is very clear that while you create an object of a derived class like we have done here, so obviously it is going to call which constructor, which init method of the derived class. Okay.
Yes,
so
sir.
what we should do here is, okay, maybe we can try and write something like this.
Super. Yes.
I'll just first write it as this statement here. Super, right? It's a method, okay? Dot, then you call this init.
Yes.
Something like this we can do here. And obviously we need to pass how many arguments? Yes, Angad, please answer.
3 arguments, sir. Self.
Okay.
And then the remaining
ing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's see whether this works or not. Okay. This we have already tried, so we'll do without this now. This we don't require. So we're creating an object of the derived class. Now we pass the arguments 40, 50, and 60. Do we need to go like this?
Yes, sir.
Sure about it? देख लो ध्यान से.
Yes, sir. ऐसे होगा.
ऐसे
होगा, sir.
Will it run? What would be the output?
Sir, it will give the sum of 40, 50, and 60.
Will it? It won't print anything. देखो, ये कुछ invalid syntax बोल रहा है यहाँ पर. क्या प्रॉब्लम बताओ?
सर वहाँ पर डिफाइन कीवर्ड के आगे स्पेस नहीं है सर.
अच्छा, वेरी गुड. अब ठीक हो गया? चलो.
यस सर.
अब देखो. In it takes 3 positional arguments but 4 were given. ये कहाँ हमने 4 दे दी?
सर सेल्फ आई थिंक नहीं होगा.
बताओ फिर क्या एरर है?
सर जो सुपर में है वो शायद सेल्फ नहीं होगा सर वहाँ पर।
कहाँ पे?
जो सुपर मेथड हम कॉल करवा रहे हैं उसमें सेल्फ आर्गुमेंट नहीं होगा।
नहीं होगा, श्योर?
यस सर।
Okay. So we are calling here, remember all of you, we are not defining. We are calling the init method of our base class. It is having two arguments, I and j, only two arguments. So we must pass
यस सर।
two values there, okay? Right, see now. Clear? 150 is a sum once again. You can print the values also. Something like you can do self dot I comma self dot j comma self. I've taken quite a bit of time in this because this can be confusing. I think we need a parenthesis here. Okay, so we can see here. Okay, the values are 40, 50, 60, and the sum is 150. See how it takes place now. First, when you call this, when you create this object, then 40, 50, 60 is passed to this, your derived class init method. And within this, you're calling the init method of the super class that is here, and inj is passed to this inj, okay? And the k is passed to this k, okay? That is how it works. And the other thing you've already seen here, that's very clear, that when you call y.disp, then this disp is called rather than this disp. Isn't it? So can somebody suggest how we can take care of this if I need to call this disp? Yes, Angad, you are already unmuted. Can you answer this question? That while I call y.disp, is there any mechanism in which I can call this disp method instead of this disp? Because this is currently overriding this method. Okay, Inderjeet wants to answer. Yes, Inder.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yes, beta, bolo.
सर सुपर डॉट डिस्प करके हम बेस क्लास के शायद फंक्शन को ड्राइव करवा
Super
सकते
dot disp. ठीक है,
यस सर
इंदर आप मेरे साथ ही रहो, मैं यहाँ लिख रहा हूँ, ठीक है?
यस सर
आप यही बोल रहे हो?
यस सर
आपको लगता है ये चलेगा इंदर? Will it work?
सर ट्राई करके देख सकते
तो इसमें 40, 50, 60, 150 और फिर क्या आंसर आएगा?
सर फिर 40-50
देखें,
यस सर
सी अब सुपर देखो क्या हो रहा है इसमें, ठीक है?
सुपर हैज नो आर्गुमेंट्स यस
तो
सर
अब आपको क्या करना है? When you want to do this, that is when you want to execute the overridden method, okay? Then you write it here itself, okay? Write it here.
सर इन डिस्प्ले फंक्शन
Yeah. Because this call y.disp is going to call this. So within this, you can invoke the other disp method. Okay.
ओके सर
Let's try whether it works or not. Should work. Something like this. Yeah. Just wait for a second. There's some power issues here. My laptop is running, but there's no light. Just a second. The same problem is there. Okay.
यस
So
सर
can somebody tell me what is the problem?
सर सुपर के अंदर आर्गुमेंट्स पास करने पड़ेंगे
Super के अंदर.
नो
So I think we can just try it with a simple this thing, so that we can see whether it works, because the values can be a problem at times. So say I am in, whether it's running or not. Okay, I am in super class. Let's go with this and let's see whether it works now or not. Same problem is there. Somebody can suggest something. Where are we doing? What is the error here? Yeah, Angad has raised hands. Yes, Angad.
सर हमने नीचे super dot disp लिखा हुआ है सर, इसी कारण वो चल नहीं रहा।
यहाँ पे?
Yes sir.
Oh, very good. Yeah. We didn't delete that thing. Okay, let's try it here once again. First, like with this, then with the values. Yeah, I'm in superclass, it's running. And we can again print something more here, what we did before. Self.I, comma, because the values are there when you call the init method, so they should be running here also. Let's see that. Yeah, so that's it. So two things we have learned here: how to invoke the super method, and we can invoke the constructor of the base class or the super class with the super method, and we can also use this concept to run the overridden method of the base class, which has been overridden by the method in the derived class. Okay. So I think that's what I wanted to discuss about inheritance, because writing programs would be your job, and how to implement the various types. You know the syntax now, whether it's a class demo here, a class new demo here, and then we can have a class, say, demo one, something like this, which inherits from new demo. So that would be a sort of a multi-level one. If I put two classes here, then it would be a multiple one. So you can try all that, but kindly see this method overriding and the use of super in calling the base class constructors. Okay, fine. Now let's discuss an interesting topic, that is plotting. Okay, so let's discuss plotting now. So can somebody tell me what are we going to learn in plotting? What will happen with plotting, or what is plotting, or what is a plot? Yeah, waiting for an answer. Manpreet wants to answer. Okay, yes, Manpreet, go ahead.
So plotting is basically a graphical representation of the data through which we can compare or over a period of time we can see the values in a graphical view.
Okay, so what are the different types of?
Visualization. Yes,
That's
sir,
a
yes, sir.
visualization. That's good. That's
Yes,
a good
sir.
word. Yeah. So what are the different types of plots that we have? Okay, let's hear it from
Sir,
Tamanna now. Yeah. Tamanna
Okay,
is going
sir.
to answer
Okay.
this.
Okay, sir.
Yes, Tamanna.
They're like bar, pie chart.
Okay, fine. So we have bar plot, pie plot,
Yes, sir,
scatter
scatter
plot.
plot, histogram.
Okay. So you're already aware of this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what we will.
Assignment. Yeah.
Yes, you've
In
already.
assignment.
Acha, how many of you have done the assignment and submitted? Raise your hands.
Me, sir, raised.
What is the date of submission? Today itself, I think.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how many of you tried this matplotlib, and how did you write this? So that now I think that should be interesting now, because you've worked on it, matplotlib, and we are going to discuss it today. All right, let's hear from Angad. He has raised hands. Yes, Angad.
Yes sir, I tried Matplotlib.
Did you write any programs?
Yes sir, I'm doing a project on a small project on data science. And
you're doing some project?
Yes sir, I'm doing some like on Jupyter notebooks or.
No, that's fine. Wherever you do it, that's okay. You can run it anywhere. Okay.
Yes sir.
Manpreet, what about you?
Yes, sir. I tried every plot program.
You've done every. So you can help me in taking this class now, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. That's good. You can be my teaching assistant for this today's class, in Matplotlib. Okay. So copy pens would be a better thing. Would be a lot to discuss now for the next 1 hour, I suppose. Okay. So plotting would basically be like you have some data with you and you want to plot it. You want to see its graphical representation. You want to see, make some analysis out of it, make some data visualization. So obviously data, if it is in lists or if it is in arrays, is of no good use to you. Once it comes in a graphical shape, you can always analyze in a better way. Like for example, you see this IPL is going on. So you see the run rate worms, okay? So you plot that, okay? So similar to that, you can do some plots here, which can help you analyze or differentiate about different things, different data that you have, okay? For that, we'll be using, there would be many visualization or plotting softwares or modules within Python. I'm going to discuss this matplotlib with you. Okay, matplotlib. So obviously the first thing to see is whether it is installed or not. Okay, so if you write import matplotlib,
No, sir,
and
it doesn't come with default libraries.
does it?
No, sir, मेरी तो नहीं थी सर, मैंने की थी install.
No, it doesn't come by default. You need to install it. Okay,
Yes.
you need
Okay,
to
sir,
install
you
it.
have installed. You have installed. Okay, sir.
Yeah, I have installed. That's why it's coming, right?
Okay.
So, okay, say I have installed, but I'll tell you, there are many ways. If you are using some PyCharm or some other ideally sort of thing, then there are two ways. One way I've listed here, you can see on screen using the command
Simply-
prompt. Okay.
Yes.
At the command prompt, you should write pip install matplotlib. And along with that, the other requirements are also there. All the other things, modules which are required would automatically be installed. For example, while I give this command as pip install matplotlib, it downloads matplotlib first, then Kiwi solver, then NumPy, okay, then date util, then cycler. So many things are there. So all these are required for your matplotlib. Okay, so it has shown that it has collected six this thing and downloaded all. Basically, you can see it as Kiwi solver, NumPy 6, Python date util, cycler, PyParsing, pillow. So many are there. When you give just this one command, pip install matplotlib. Okay. Now, since this has been a requirement is already been satisfied, so if I write something on the command prompt, see on the command prompt, if I write something, and if I repeat this command, pip install matplotlib, it will say requirement already satisfied. It will say requirement already set. It should say something like that. Okay, you can see requirement already satisfied for all the things which are required along with matplotlib. Okay, so clear to all how to install matplotlib? Just write one line here that I've written, that is pip install matplotlib. I've written it here, pip install matplotlib. So if it is not installed, it would be installed. And if it is installed, it will display a message like this. Okay. So what we can do with that, you see. So let's go to our this thing, Python interpreter. While you're writing some code, okay, so what you can do is you'll be using this. There is a method pyplot, within matplotlib module, which you would be requiring to plot everything, all the different types of plots that you have. Okay, so import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. So take a shorter name here. So wherever you need to call some method, you can use plt. Okay. For example, you can write plt.plot, something like this. Okay. So you've not given any data, so there's a empty, nothing, a null is returned here. This plot is for plotting things, right? So I'll be taking some examples with you now. So better to write them down, or you can see the video later on. Manpreet, you want to say something? You've raised hand.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Lower your hand, please. Thank you. So let me open up a file for you. I can assure you, once we are through with today's lecture, you can make good projects, you can do good data representations, and Angad, like you said, you're working on some project, this would help you also. Okay, so have a look now. Let's take this test1.py. Clear, visible on the screen? So what I've done is, I'll just remove all this so that you can start afresh. Even I'll remove this also. Okay, let's remove this also. So let's suppose we have a list, about some, say YouTube views on various days. We have a data about some YouTube views on various days. Okay, so on day 1, 534 views to YouTube, 258, 689. Okay, so is the scenario clear to you to begin with? Because we'll be taking this example for the entire lecture today. So if it is clear, like what we are going to learn, you can raise your hands, all of you, if you are listening, of course. This could be fun, you see. Okay, fine, fine. Thank you. You can lower your hands. So what I will do here is I'll just write here plt dot plot and say I'll write here views. Okay. So let's hope it works. Only this code. Okay. Only this code. Can somebody help me why it is not running? It is showing a blank screen because some people said they've already done it. So Angad and Manpreet, okay, let's ask, okay, Anmol Chawla also. Yes, Anmol.
Sir, we have write plt dot show to show
Okay.
the
Very good. So there is a show method. That means some of you have really worked about it. Okay, so it will be to actually the plot, if it is to be displayed, then show method is a must. Okay, we must write plt dot show. So now you can see the plot. I assure you, you can make very good plots. I'll be going in a lot of detail with you. Just see step by step how it is done. So right now you can see I didn't give any x-axis data. Okay, kindly see I didn't give any x-axis data. This views is coming on the y-axis. So if you just give one argument to plot, then it is taken on y-axis and x-axis is assumed automatically starting from 0. See it once again. Can you see the x-axis? It's 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. Okay, fine. So let's say now I want to state that this 534 views were on day 1, 258 on day 2 and so on. So for that I can take a variable days is equal to, say I can take a range here 1, 8. Okay, and then I can give this as the first argument here. Okay. See the effect now. See the x-axis. You can see now that corresponding to first day we had some 500 odd, views. Day 2 had less than 300. Okay, you can see day 2 has 258. Okay, clear now how this plot works, this plot method. So it can have many arguments. We started with one argument. When it has one argument, that is for y-axis, and for x-axis it is automatically assumed starting from 0. Okay, then you can have another argument for it, say with label. Okay, label is equal to, say you can write here YouTube videos. Okay, let's see whether it shows somewhere or not. Okay, it's not showing. Can somebody suggest me what does this label do if you have really gone through the matplotlib? Manpreet, Angad, okay, good. So let's ask Manpreet.
Sir, label simply labeled YouTube videos at any part of the graph, and we have to use .legend function for it.
What is the meaning of legend? आप कह रहे हैं कि अगर हमें ग्राफ पे कहीं भी कुछ लिखना हो तो लेबल होता है और उसको लेजेंड से कॉल करते हैं.
Yes, sir.
I don't agree totally with you. Let's ask Angad if he has a different answer. Manpreet, your answer is correct, but the explanation is not. Yes, Angad.
Yes, sir. Please repeat the question.
What is the meaning of this label? What is this label for? The third argument.
Sir, the heading of graph.
No, that's the title. If we need to give the heading, we use the title method. Okay.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay. So you see legend why it is used. Anybody else, if you want to answer, you can please raise your hand. What is the meaning of legend here? We are going to use a legend method. Okay. So I'll just use a legend method here. PLT dot legend. Okay. See the effect now. whatever you've written in label will appear somewhere on your plot. Can you see? My question is why we should do this? आप तो ग्राफ में इसको बहुत बार कर चुके होंगे different जब आप करते हैं. You must have used this legend in many of your presentations or reports. Okay, Angad wants to answer. Yes, Angad.
सर जैसे अगर यहाँ पर मल्टीपल अगर लाइंस हैं तो हमें पता नहीं लगेगा कौन सी लाइन किसको रिप्रेजेंट कर रही है.
Very good. So when we have multiple graphs or multiple plots, just to distinguish that which graph is for what, okay, then we need to give a legend. And legend will only appear if you have given it as an argument with label, right? So what I'm suggesting here is that when you write this label, if you don't write this, let's see if I don't write this, okay? You should be very clear about things. Now what will happen? Yes, Manpreet, you can answer. Raise your hands, Manpreet. I hope all other students are listening, those who have not studied Matplotlib. I'll build up it in such a way so that by the end of this lecture, you will understand everything about Matplotlib. Yes, Manpreet, please answer. What will the graph look like now, the plot?
Sir, it simply as before, without
so without any, true. So now we won't see any legend. It will appear only when we have a label argument there. There's nothing there, okay? So it will appear only when we have a label argument here, okay? Say label equal to, say, YouTube videos, okay? Now if you see, it will appear. Now it will appear it as this. So by default, it is coming where? It might vary with your different Python versions. So right now it is by default without any positions given by us. It comes in top left. Okay. So let's change its position by giving it as an argument here as lock equal to, say, bottom left. Okay. Now I'm suggesting that this legend should appear at the bottom left. See whether it appears there. Okay. Does it go without any string? Need to see that. Where's the error? Can somebody tell me? It's not running actually. Should run ideally. So let's try this top right. It's upper right. Okay. Suggesting to us it is upper right. Let's see whether it works or not. Yeah, now it appears in upper right. So with the position, you can see the positions, how we can set them with the lock argument here. Upper right, upper left, lower right. I was writing bottom, so it's lower, right? You kindly check that. Center left, center right. So you can put it anywhere that you wish. Okay. Then we can give the labels for your x-axis and y-axis. How it can be given? PLT dot x label. So you can write here, say, day number. Okay. And similarly, PLT dot y label, you can give it as views. Okay. Let's see how it makes the graph now. You can see this is a day number and this is the views. Okay. Then we can give a title also. Okay. We can give a title for this plot also. So with that, I think title method we can do this. YouTube views over a, say, 7-day period. Should go like this. Should appear in the. You can see the title here. YouTube views over a 7-day period. So this is our title. This comes with title, right? So we have labeled our graph very nicely. Okay. Let's see what other things we can do here till we reach something good. Okay, legend is there. Yeah, we have done that, right? Okay, any questions till this point? Anything that you need to ask so that I can move ahead with the colors, the markers, the line styles, the line widths, the grids, the X limits and the Y limits. So many things are there for you to note. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, we can go with the what sort of color we want for this graph. For that, we have the color argument. Okay. Now you see any documentation that you require for this matplotlib, you can go to Google and you can look for the matplotlib color API or something like that. I know you people can search. So all the description that I'm telling you is from there itself. Okay, fine. So let's give this color as, say, I'm giving a red color here. Okay, giving a red color. See the effect? Good enough. We have a red color here. Okay. If the color of the plot that you want comes with this color argument. Okay. Then there is a marker also. Okay. There is a marker argument also. So let us give it as O. Okay. So color argument, you've seen how it works. Now see what this marker argument does. Marker is equal to O means this is a circle. Okay. This is a circle. So let's see. You can see the end points now. Okay. Can you see the circle there? Okay, the legend has all automatically taken its the color and the this marker, right? Let's try some other marker, whether it works or not. Let's try a dash. Maybe it works. No, dash doesn't. Okay, so we can look for documentation. Let's open up say Google here. Okay. Okay, let's open up Google. Yeah, and say matplotlib color API. Okay, let's use this matplotlib color API. So you can see there are so many links out here. Okay, so maybe we can try this one. So you'll find a lot of documentation. Okay. So you can see now here the color options are there. Okay, this is actually we don't require this documentation. Let's go look for this. Yeah, this is the colors API. This could give us good the same one. You need to search for it. Let's use this colors. Okay. Yeah, list of named colors. Let's see this. Yeah, here are the colors. Okay. And the other thing that we were looking for was markers, right? So let's look for the markers. One was a circle that we just used. Matplotlib markers. Okay. Let's see in this. Manpreet, you want to suggest something? Yes, go ahead, Manpreet.
सर कैन आई शेयर द स्क्रीन सर जो आपका फर्स्ट लिंक था ना सबसे पहले वाला सर उसमें
I know. I don't want to waste time on that because I know all of you are going to find it yourself. I was just telling you how to go about it. Yeah, we're going to find it. I understand.
Point,
okay.
1 2 3.
Okay, fine. So I'll go with this O here. You can change it. Then there is another argument here. That is the marker face color. Okay. See what it does. Say marker face color. Let's put it as green here. Okay, and let's see what effect it has. Okay, the marker color is green. I think if you can make it out, the marker face color is green. Okay, and the line is red. Right. So with this you can decorate your this. Then we have a line style argument. So I can give a line style argument. Let's check how it works. Say if I write here dashed, okay, I'll write here dashed. Let's see if it works. I hope all of you are noting it down. Yeah, this is a dashed line now, okay. This dash line can also work with that simple dash also. Either you write the full this thing, should go with this dash also, okay. Okay, this is for solid, I think. This is for solid, okay. Then there is a dot dash. Okay, let's try that. This you can do on your own, I know that. You know, dot dash is not working. Did I miss something? Dashed is 2 dashes, okay. Dashed is 2 dashes. Yeah, I think should work now. Yeah, 2 dashes or you write dashed is one and the same thing. Dash dot is dash dot, okay. It is not dot dash, it is dash dot. So if you want dashes and dots in your line style, you should write dash dot. Let's see if it works. Yeah, dash dot, okay. A dash then a dot like this. So you can try all these line styles. You can just check the documentation on Google, okay. Then there is a line width also. There is an argument as line width also. Let's specify that. Line width is equal to, let's put it 2. Let's see what effect it has. Then I'll increase it. So you can have more width. You see, line width are given as 2. Let me make it as 5. See now. Okay, the line width is 5 here. Okay. All right. So many arguments we have seen to this plot method. So label is there, color, marker face color, line style, line width. We have seen all this. Then you can add a grid to your plot also. Okay, you can add a grid to your plot also. Let's see how. Let's see how we can add a grid. So let's add this grid. Just make it plt dot grid and say right here true. Okay, let's see what it does. Can you see the grid in the background? So if you need to visualize, actual the numerical values, then grid is always helpful in visualizing. Okay, you can have a grid here. Now this grid can have other arguments also, like it can have a line width argument, it can have a color argument, it can have a line style arguments. So let's check out all these one by one. So just keep on adding here. Say you can add a line width, say equal to 3. Okay. This is for the grid now. Color equal to, say we can write green, and line style say it's use dashed. Okay, let's hope it works. I've given 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 arguments, right? This is for the grid now. Whatever I did is for the grid. You can see now, green color for the grid, dashed line, the line width is there. So this is how you can make this grid work. All right. Then we can also set up x and y limits. Okay. This we'll see once we have some other data, like or we can work on this also. Somebody is raising hand. Yes, Inder. बोलिए.
सर हमने true क्यों use किया है यहाँ पे grid
That we want by default the grid is not visible. It's the argument is false. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir,
you can read the documentation. Let me check whether false will work.
Is there
here.
any
Okay.
condition?
I think now it won't be visible. Yeah, you can check this documentation. It is running on false also. So you people can check what it means. Ideally, it should be true. Should be. You can check it on Google, right?
Okay, sir.
Let's go without it. Like, let's see whether we can avoid this, and then we can come up with the. Okay, so grid is appearing by default. And let's see whether it takes a blank argument also. It would make things clear. Okay, so we can go with that also. You can check, I'll also see. You can check why this true is there. Okay, because it's there in the documentation. You can check,
Ye-
right? Okay, and
Yes, sir.
others can also check it. All right. So we have seen that the grid can be invoked just by writing plt.grid, and then obviously if we need other things, then we can give the other document, this arguments also. So this was regarding the basic plot, okay? The basic plot. So now next is how we can save this file. See, right now we are seeing this on screen. We are seeing this plots on screen. We would like to maybe print it or or discuss it with somebody. So if we need to save it somewhere, then we can use a method save fig. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so plt dot save fig. Okay, and then obviously the first argument here would be the name of the file. Okay, so let's store it in say D drive. Let's hope it works. Or say 4csc1 dot png. PNG is the by default extension for saving. Okay, so let's use this one argument here. Okay, plt.savefig, and let's hope it works. Otherwise, we'll look for something else. Okay, so this is the plot that appears on screen, and obviously one has been saved on D drive in the file 4csc. Let's see which file is there. 4csc1.png. Okay, so let's go to our D drive and look for this file. So we have a file 4csc1.png. Let's open it. So here we have the plot saved. It would look better here in this figure, right? It would look better here. It'll take some time on my laptop to open. Let's hope it appears soon. Yeah, it's not appearing. Some problem on my this photos. Yeah, now it's come. Yeah, you can see now it looks a better one here. Okay, and then you can increase the resolution. Okay, let's see how. So you can give another argument as. So I hope all of you are listening to me. If there are any questions, you can always raise hands, right? But I think a lot to note here, so kindly keep on doing that. So there is an argument known as DPI, that is dots per inch, okay? And then you can give it as 500, okay? And you can also save it in different this thing formats. By default, it is PNG. So I can write here, say maybe PDF. You can save it as a PDF also, okay? Let's do that. Whether it runs or not with some problem. Yeah, so this is the figure, the plot on screen, and then let's open the PDF, obviously, which would be opened up very quickly. Let's go to D drive and look for this PDF. Okay, you can see it's better. The view is much better here. Okay, and then this DPI would make it better looking, dots per inch. The more the DPI, the better resolution the image would have, right? Then you can also have a face color argument here. Okay, you can have a face color. Okay, say face color. Okay, say give some color here. Say blue. Okay, face color is equal to blue. Again, run it, and then obviously the plot is going to appear here. Let's go to D drive. Okay, and now open it up. You can see it would look different here. Okay, the face color is the rest of the look of it. So you like this, you can save your figure, and in different formats. You can see the documentation. You know how it is used. Okay, fine. So next is scatter plots. Okay, next is scatter plots. Any questions till this point, please? If there are any. One thing, if you are not attending this class, this is maybe a caution, maybe a warning to all of you. In a class of 90, if 45, 50 people are attending, those who are not attending, they'll have difficulty in clearing this subject. This I can assure you. And you can ask your seniors also. You can ask your seniors also regarding this. If you are not attentive in online classes, if you are not regular, you won't pass the internal either in lab or in theory. मैं आपको पहले बोल रहा हूँ, अगर आपके मन में कोई वहम है, आपके फ्रेंड्स के मन में कोई वहम है तो निकाल दीजिए. You're not going to pass. And kindly consult your seniors in this, whatever I'm telling you, whether it's true or not. Ask your sixth semester seniors, they'll tell you about this. You need to attend classes. Okay? Remember this, pass it on in the groups, in your official, unofficial groups. If you are not attending, then you know there is some problem, which you must sort out fast. Because still there are a lot of classes going to be conducted. So kindly be regular, okay? Next is the scatter plot. So let's discuss the scatter plot. Okay. So what I do here is, just let me write here, what is the method? I've forgotten. Maybe something like this. Let's go with this. Let's see whether it works or not. Okay. Whether it takes all these arguments or not, then we'll see some. Yeah, there's some problem. Okay. So what I'll do now is I'll share a video with you, right? So that you can have a breather sort of thing. Yeah, here I go with the computer sound. I'm going to share a video with you guys, a short video, okay? I'll fast forward it if required. So kindly see it now. Yeah, it should be here. Should be here. Should be here. Yeah. Let's go with this. So that we don't waste time, I'll be discussing the bar chart with you in detail now after this.
Hello everyone, welcome to the 10th Python tutorial for data visualization with Matplotlib. Today we will learn about scatter plots. Until now all we have learnt about is line plots, and today we'll talk about scatter plots. Now what are scatter plots? Scatter plots are basically set of points plotted on a horizontal and vertical axis. Now, they don't consist of lines. They are especially important in statistics because they can show the extent of correlation between two different kinds of variables. In fact, two or more different kinds of variables. Now, this is our usual code that we use for plotting in this series. So basically, I have YouTube views, and here I have YouTube views for 14 days. And I have created a days variable where I have assigned 1 to 14 and if I plot it using our normal strategy, plt.data points on this axis format, you first have to put the x-axis data, then the y-axis data, and everything else works the same way. So here, if I actually we don't need, yeah, we can have grid as well. It helps. So if I run this now, you can see now Python is returning us a plot where we only have scatter plot data. So basically data points represented by just a dot. Now you can also change marker styles for this like we did in our previous tutorial. So basically this is it. This is how you draw a scatter plot using Matplotlib. We will see the use of scatter plots in our future tutorials where we'll be finishing a complete project of statistics or financial data. So thank you guys. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Hello everyone. We'll quickly use the Matplotlib PLT method called as plt.scatter. That's it, nothing else. The input parameters are in the same format. You first have to put the x-axis data, then the y-axis data, and everything else works the same way. So here, if I actually we don't need, yeah, we can have. You can see now Python is returning us a plot where we only have scatter plot.
Am I audible? Some problem with the system. Just wait for a second. Maybe I can get it back. What I'll do is, it's not responding actually. There's some problem. Zoom is not responding. So we are going to discuss this pie chart now. And for this, I'll take up this data. I'll take up a list. Let's take up a list to make a pie chart. Let's write this as complete also. Facebook. Okay. And then we can have views. Okay. A list showing the views for all these sites. Okay. So maybe we can write something like 357, 798. Just a short example so that you can understand what all is there. Some things you can try on your own. Okay. So let's take it as, would be better if it is like similar sort of thing. Yeah, views, labels and views. Okay. And then we can plot a pie chart like this. PLT dot pie. Okay. We can write here views, comma, labels equal to labels. Let's see what it does, right? And obviously we need to make PLT dot. Okay, let's run this. You can see a pie chart, right? You can see the different colors of the pies, okay, the slices, and there would be other options also. There are many other options. You can explore them. I'll just discuss a few with you. What all you can, how you can decorate your pie chart. Okay, so along with this, maybe you can write. If you need to, just see at this pie chart, there are the various wedges here. Okay, so if you want to see these wedges separately, if you need to pick out some wedge to, maybe illustrate something, then you can write an explode option here. Okay, say explode equal to explode. This explode option is to separate the wedge from the pie. Okay, and or maybe you can specify which one to do. So explode. Okay, maybe you can write a 0, 0, 0, 0.2. Okay, let's write like this. Okay, explode this. Let's hope it works. So the fourth, okay. Just a second. The sequence. I need to check the document. I'll try it once, otherwise, we'll need to check the documentation for this. Okay. Can somebody, yeah, some people are raising hand. Okay. Just a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, चलिए इंद्र बताइए. What's the wrong thing out here?
सर एक जीरो एक्स्ट्रा नहीं था.
Okay, okay, sorry. Right. अब order भी देख लेते हैं. Yeah, there are 4 this thing. So yeah, non-zeros extra. Okay, now I think it was the right thing. Should go here.
सर इसको शायद पहले डिक्लेयर करना हो.
Yeah, we need to declare it first, but you see, we can do this by looking at a documentation. No need to remember it. So let's see if it works. Fine. It should work. Okay. Okay, let's go to the video. Or somebody, okay, maybe Manpreet can suggest something. Yes, Manpreet.
सर इक्वल्स टू डाल दो. इक्वल्स टू
Huh?
डाल दो. इक्वल्स टू सर.
What?
एक्सप्लोड के आगे सर इक्वल्स टू.
Okay, oh, it's a list. Shit. Okay, okay, right. And,
Yes, sir.
and this too also, this should be as a small value.
Yes, sir.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Should
Fine.
work now. Yeah. So you can see the fourth wedge, we wanted to separate it. So that is done with the explode option. Okay. So let's check whether we can do more. I've not tried it. I'll try it now. So maybe a 0.4 sort of thing. Let's see if it works. So you can have, you can see the distance for LinkedIn now. See what 0.4 has, it has taken it that far. Can you see, all of you? Okay, and 0.2 has kept it near the pi. Okay, so this is how you can work with this explode option. Okay, and then there is a shadow option. Maybe let's see where to write it. Shadow equal to true. Let's see if it works. Some shadow would be there. Yeah, you can see the shadow, not very, very effective, but yeah, we can see the shadow of the wedges and the pi, right? This is the shadow option in this. Then another one could be if you need to show the percentage, okay? If you need to show the percentage of each pi. Right now we don't see the percentage, we just see the labels and the pi graph, right? So maybe we can write auto PCT sort of thing. Auto PCT equal to then percentage 1.1 percentage, something like this. This documentation you can read what it means. It should work. Let's see what effect it has on the graph. Some problem. Auto percentage should work. Yeah, we missed. Yeah. I think we must give a format sort of thing. Yeah, percentage 1.1 F should do. So now you see the percentage, like what pi has what percentage. Facebook has a 21% viewership, YouTube has 46.9, and so on. Okay, this is regarding this. Now let me ask you one question. You see, the total should always come to 100, isn't it? To 1, either to 1 or to 100%, right? Is that fine? Yes or no? You can see 46.9, 12, 20.1, 21. This would add up to 100%. If it is not, okay, if it is not, what will happen? Please answer. What I'm suggesting here is this. See a short example here. If I have the views like this, okay, say 0.3, let's make it 0.2, and let's make it 0.1. The total is 3228. Okay, what will happen now? If somebody can answer this. Will the pie chart be created? Because it should total up to 200%. Okay. Okay. Angad wants to answer this. Yes, Angad.
सर इट विल कन्वर्ट एंड इन 100% के मुताबिक सर वो कर लेगा कन्वर्ट और उसके मुताबिक ही वो शो करेगा फिर.
Okay, let's ask Manpreet. Yes, Manpreet.
यस सर, शो करेगा पाई चार्ट, बट सर वो पूरा फुल नहीं होगा, जैसे सेमी सर्कल सा होता है, जैसे कोई कोड फ्रैगमेंट नहीं
So
होता, वैसा ही.
we'll have an empty wedge. Okay.
यस सर,
So
यस
if it is not up to this, we'll have an empty wedge. See it now. Not satisfied. Let's remove this auto PCT is giving trouble. Let's see if it works now. Are we missing something? Yeah, this explode option is also there. Now it should work, I think. Yeah, can you see the empty one? Okay, the pie chart is Facebook is there, YouTube is there, LinkedIn is there, Instagram is there. Okay, but one of the wedges is not fulfilled because we have what off here 0.2. There is 20% wedges separate. Okay, so let's now explore it with this full option now. Yeah, like this. Explode equal to explode. Let's see now. Okay, so all this is working. So you can make very good pie charts for your for your projects. So kindly use this matplotlib. Now we are left with we'll discuss scatter also. We'll do scatter also. We'll draw the bar chart also. Bar chart would be a fun because it needs some coding to make it a very good bar chart. Okay, that we will definitely discuss. And what else is left? Yeah, and now if there are any questions you can ask. You don't ask any questions actually, except a few students who are interacting also. My request to you, kindly don't force me, to take some action because the students who are not taking their classes seriously, I'm going to penalize them. They should not consider that they will clear this subject easily. Let it be very clear. My request to all of you, kindly pass it on to your friends. Okay, that classes, they need to be attended. Seriously, please. Any questions if you have, I'm willing to answer. Kindly submit your assignment today itself. That's very important. So if there are no more questions, I'm going to end this class with a reminder that you should share this information, that attendance is very low. So kindly attend the classes. Otherwise, it would be difficult for you to clear your internal exams, theory and practical both. That will be very clear. Chaliye. Thank you very much.